Hey, everybody, welcome to yet another edition of Deep Fat Fried. Wow! Greatest podcast of all time. How you doing out there in the universe? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, shit.
Damn.
Ah!
I got the mouth part.
What's going on with Paul, man? He's farting into the mic.
Dude, he shoved food up and I farted out his mouth.
Oh, damn.
Your weight loss.
Oh, it's brutal. Looking like John Lennon. Got the John Lennon glasses.
I love this shirt. It's a blobfish burrito.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It summarizes Paul's life.
It is. It does. I wear this shirt when I'm feeling my most Paul.
When Paul is at his Paulest, he wears that shirt.
Yes, I do.
We should make a shirt with just a blobfish, but replace it with Paul's face, dude, and just be like sitting there, like going through the water, like.
Oh, people have done that. Like I've got a ton of fan art where people have Paulified a blobfish. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
I got a ton of that shit. Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Paul just has one of those faces, dude. Like we've seen it so many times. Like some people have like me and TJ. Sadly, look, and this is reality. We don't have one of those faces. We're not gonna. Our face isn't generic enough to be reused like that. But Paul's face, dude. No, it's not even a slight to Paul. Like Paul was like they made him Kratos. They make him a blobfish. I mean, how can you say that? Like I can't say that about my face. I'm gonna make my face into Kratos and a blobfish, dude. They pulled it off with Paul's fucking face.
I have a memeable face. I don't know what it is. I don't know what combination of features it is that makes it memeable, but I definitely...
Yeah, trademark your face, dude.
Yeah, I really should.
Hey, you want to use that picture? Hey, look, my face is trademarked. You guys are going to pay me.
This is property of Paul Enterprises.
My unique likeness is trademarked.
Paul can sue you can sue like Sony and shit. Like, look, God of War was based on me. Here's a picture of me. Look. I existed before this game.
Yeah, dude. Where's my Kratos money?
Dude, Paul should be getting paid right now. That's fucking bullshit.
I want my fucking Kratos money, dude. I'm the God of War.
Amen.
Also, I want some John Lennon estate money because he ripped off my sunglasses.
Oh, yeah. He's a fucking piece of shit. Heard he beat his wife. Heard he didn't fucking...
I don't even care about that. I care about the fact that he wore
you could use
sunglasses.
You could use some of that stuff as like,
oh yeah,
like sort of like character stuff to like show that he's the kind of person who would steal your glasses.
To sway the jury.
Yeah, poison the well a little bit.
Yeah.
He's a wife beater. He didn't even fucking love his own son. He's a piece of garbage.
Wow. Yeah, dude.
I like it.
Paul McCartney wrote the song "Hey Jude" about little Julian Lennon. Poor kid.
What the fuck, dude? What? All right, maybe I'll have to watch this stupid Tiger show after all.
I can't believe you haven't.
I haven't.
It's absurd.
I haven't because there's just too many people have, and I don't like to be part of the crowd. But then I saw. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta fucking put this up for you guys.
Dude, it's made in heaven, dude. Come on.
Yes. I'm even more excited having seen it. No, you know the reason, because I usually don't jump on these like giant bandwagon shows when the shows blow up, but my mom recommended it to me.
Right.
And that's so rare for my mom to be into anything. So I was like, all right, on mom's recommendation.
On the strength of my mom's recommend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty big recommendation right there.
When my mom recommends stuff to me, I pretty much always am like, that's probably not good. Because
me too. Like my mom's taste in movies is pretty. I mean, I love her, but it's pretty horrible.
Oh yeah.
I agree with our mom has horrible taste in movies.
My mom will come to me and it'll be like the worst movie ever made. She'll be like, I thought it was really good. It's like, well, you're wrong.
Dude, I lost my mind. Remember, I think it was like me and mom and Stevie and TJ. My mom's like, we saw Doom, and I was like, what'd you think about it? Terrible, right? It was great. And I was like, no, it fucking wasn't. You were so wrong. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting unhinged again about that.
I showed them No Country for Old Men, and they were like, that was dumb. There was no real resolution or nothing. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Just like something good for once. Fuck.
Please, I beg you.
I tried showing them Rushmore Wes Anderson movie.
Oh yeah,
that I really love that movie.
Yeah,
and I showed it to my parents, and they fucking hated it. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah,
no more movie exchanges between us.
It's tough because like I don't know. There's probably some overlap in tastes here and there, but for the most part, we're just not on the same page when it comes to entertainment.
If I happen to like this is probably true for you, TJ. If I happen to like a big like blockbuster type movie, like big budget, fucking CGI fest. If I'm just like, yeah, I like that one, like the Avengers or something, then generally they'll be like, yeah, we like that too. As far as like the more like art housey kind of stuff, no, that generally does not play well.
Yeah. I mean, we're not even talking art house here. We're just talking like real movies, basically. Okay, whatever.
Well, I had that problem with Taylor too. I'm like, let's watch the trailer first. And I was just going to show her Rushmore. I'm like, it's a really good movie. And she's all like, nope. And I'm like, all right, fair enough. At least we did not spend the 2 hours and then 2 more hours of you bitching about it was a terrible movie.
Nope, looks dumb as shit, y'all. I don't care for that none.
TJ, you want to smack, dude? This is how you get a smack, TJ. That's how you get a fucking smack, dude. I don't live far from you, TJ. I'll drive right now, go and smack you on camera and drive fucking back.
Man, she talks country as shit sometimes.
Oh, I've had that conversation with her so many times. She's like, I do not.
Sometimes she'll say something and then I'll just like repeat it back, like only slightly hyperbolically. Be like,
I do not talk that way, TJ.
I do not do that. Come, what's your what? All right. So, Scotty, this is your episode today. You're doing an episode on top 5, or no, I guess it's not a top 5, but it's just 5 sequels that never happened, right?
Yeah, and it was kind of crazy to me researching this one because I was like, are there? I mean, like, I know we talk about sequels a lot, and I was like, dude, there's some sequels in my mind that should have been made, have never been made. And some on this list, I think some people might agree with me. Like, if they had been made, would have been pretty fucking epic. Now, other ones, not so much. So I remember growing up, I used to read in movie magazines that, like, for instance, Beavis and Butthead. Like, there was going to be a sequel to Beavis and Butthead. I got super amped up. Oh, my God. I love Beavis and Butthead Do America. I got to see the sequel. But I didn't really understand how the film business worked. I was like, oh, okay. So it's in this magazine. I forget the magazine. It was some magazine TJ had bought. And I was like, it's going to happen. It's like Memorial Day next year. Beavis and Butthead 2. And of course, I was maybe 11 years old or whatever. Turned 12. Memorial Day is coming up. Mom, when's Memorial Day? No news of Beavis and Butthead 2. Well, it's going to be next year, they said. Oh, they pushed it back. They pushed it back, and they pushed it back. And you guys get the story because Beavis and Butthead 2 never came out. Never happened. So we're not really here to talk about how gullible I was as a kid to believe if, some beloved movie was going to get a sequel. We're here to hear about 5 movies. And a lot of these are major movies, too. Like, they're not fucking little, you never heard of them. These are serious films. First one here is Gladiator 2. And
I don't know how they make a sequel to Gladiator.
Oh, my God. You don't know the story about this?
The final scene of Gladiator is literally him walking through the fields of Elysium into the afterlife.
Yeah, but,
Maximus is killed. He's, beforehand, spoiler, this movie's 20 years old, so don't bitch at us. Commodus, the Emperor, stabs Maximus.
I was going to watch that. Fuck you. Spoiler alert.
Is there a website or something that I can opt in on and put my name on a list where I just have a blanket spoiler warning over everything I say about a movie so I don't have to constantly tiptoe around these pussies?
I know. It's annoying, but
Spoiler. Just assume that this movie's going to be... This is the
end of the film.
It's all going to be spoilers.
Was betrayed by the Emperor because he wouldn't swear allegiance to them, is then brought to the arena, the Colosseum, stabbed by the Emperor, and then the Emperor himself, Commodus, is going to engage in a battle with him. And of course, he wants to win, so he rigs it. He stabs him with like a poison thing, so he's going to die no matter what. They fight. Basically the Republic turns against the Empire, turns against the Emperor. Maximus kills him, rights all the wrongs, and then dies. And like you said, goes off into like the fields of Elysium. That's basically the movie.
Yeah,
that's how it ends. So. I get your point. How the fuck? Where do you go from there with that?
Right.
You know where you go. You know where you go from there. You go to fucking Nick Cave. That's where you go.
So Ridley Scott expressed an interest in once again directing the sequel, as did Crowe, who actually would have reprised his role as Maximus. as long as the plot followed on the previous events, and in doing so, the actor researched Roman beliefs about the afterlife in order to appropriately continue the story. So it's like they weren't planning on doing a sequel that, like, let's forget about all that. Gladiator 2, Maximus is alive, doesn't matter, we've retconned it, he survived somehow, some voodoo was done or whatever, he's magically alive. No, it had to follow the events of that. So Maximus is still dead. And of course, we just discussed the reasons why. So basically, since he's dead, they turn to Nick Cave, featured here, which I have pulled in a pro picture. So all the possibilities seem open to interpretation. Both Scott and Crow surprisingly turned to Bad Seeds frontman Nick Cave, as they wanted him to helm the project. At the time of the meeting, Cave had written just one screenplay, John Hillcoat's Ghost of the Civil Dead, a 1980 Australian drama which struggled for international recognition. So I've never heard of it. I don't know if you guys ever have.
No.
Fair enough. After being offered the job by Crow,
I will say that Nick Cave's movie The Proposition is pretty dope. It's a pretty awesome movie. So I kind of, on the strength of that, I kind of wish his Gladiator sequel had happened, but obviously it didn't, because that's why we're here.
Yeah, of course. So after being offered the job by Crow, Cave recalled he eventually rang me up and asked if I wanted to write Gladiator 2. And for someone who had only written one film script, it was quite an ask, Cave recalled. Well, that's where it all went wrong, Cave said, while laughing as he struggles at the struggles he faced. Hey, Russell, didn't you die in Gladiator 1? He asked, somewhat confusingly. And this is Crow's reply. Yeah, you sort that out.
Sort that out.
You'll start that.
Just figure it out. You'll come up with something.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. Don't worry about that. Explaining his idea for Gladiator 2 in more detail, Cave said, so he goes down to purgatory and is sent down by the gods who are dying in heaven because there's this one god. There's this Christ character down on earth who is gaining popularity, and so many gods are dying. So they send Gladiator back to kill Christ and his followers.
Boo. Boo.
Christ killer. Oh, yeah. I want to see Russell Crowe go back in time and kill Christ, dude. Well, I guess he's not going back in time. It's contemporary for him. But yeah send him to assassinate Jesus.
It's like an 80s action movie. It's like, this Christ is gaining too much power. The old gods wither and die. Only one man can save them. Maximus.
I love it.
But that's not all. That is unfortunately not it.
Hell yeah. What else we got?
Cave, burrowing away for months on end to create a script for Crow and Scott, completed his challenge and did so with immense satisfaction. I wanted to call it Christ Killer, and in the end, you find out the main guy was his son, so he has to kill his son, and he was tricked by the gods, he added. He becomes this eternal warrior, and it ends with this 20-minute war scene, which follows all the wars in history, right up to Vietnam, and all that sort of stuff, and it was wild. It was a stone-cold masterpiece.
Hell yeah.
Submitting the work back to Crow, and readying himself for the actor's plans to go full steam ahead, Crow reacted, don't like it, mate.
Don't like it, mate.
Cave's dismay. What about the end? He asked. Don't like it, mate. Crow replied.
Fucking piece of shit, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, it didn't glorify Russell Crowe enough, apparently.
Should have had him kill. Man, fuck Russell Crowe, dude. We could have had a fucking weird ass Gladiator sequel where fucking whatever his name is of the character, I don't know, fucking goes and kills Jesus. That sounds awesome. And then he has to go fight in every war in fucking history. Man, come on.
TJ, his name is Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yeah.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
I mean, let's be honest. Gladiator.
See, they set it up right there.
Gladiator wasn't that good.
They set it up right there. He said he would have his vengeance in this life or the next, so just make him a reincarnation of Maximus.
Yeah, I know. There's actually more to this though.
All right.
So Ridley Scott would go on to explain that despite Crow's initial reluctance, he did attempt to make Cave's script work. We tried, and this is in brackets, to go with Cave's script. Russell didn't want to let it go, obviously, because it worked very well. when I say it worked very well, I don't refer to the success. The director said in an interview with Hugo. I mean, as a piece, it works very well. Storytelling, it works brilliant. I think Cave enjoyed doing it, and I think it was one of those things that he thought, well, maybe there's a sequel where we can adjust the fantasy and bring Maximus back from the dead.
Well, that's what he was specifically told to do.
Yeah, I know. Cave said, Cave, it would seem, concurred. I enjoyed writing it very much because I knew on every level that it was never going to get made. Let's call it a popcorn dropper, he concluded. So poor Nick Cave. But hey, you know what? A sequel has been announced, but it will not be based on Cave's script.
Boo.
There is a Gladiator 2 that could happen. This one's supposed to be set like 20 or 30 years later. I think Commodus' son is supposed to be one of the main characters in it. Maximus is not coming back, clearly. They've said like he'll be there in the spirit or whatever. So there's some
spirit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Fuck that.
I'm not excited for it. I don't really think that most sequels live up to the original.
Also, Ridley Scott has been ass lately, so
is there gonna be a Maximus Force ghost in it?
Hopefully.
Maybe.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but if he's not gonna kill Jesus, who gives a shit?
He was like, I'm Maximus Decimus Meridius, father to a murdered son. Husband to a murdered wife.
Didn't we do this?
Force ghost.
Force ghost. Man, fuck all that. You know, they asked like Harrison Ford, like, hey, you know, in whatever the last Star Wars movie was called, I don't even want to remember the name of it. He was like, were you a Force ghost when you appeared, or were you like in his head or whatever? And he's just like, I don't give a shit. What the hell's a Force ghost? I don't know. Fuck you.
You know,
I love it.
You know why I was there? For money, dude. Harrison Ford, I'll give him to like this over any other actor in Hollywood I've ever seen. Not full of shit at all. And basically, every time I ask him, "Why'd you do that fucking film?" I got paid. Like,
of course.
I mean, but he's upfront about it. There's no like pretense of like, well, I really want to see what Indy's been doing after all these years. I wanted to jump back in those shoes. It was like, how much money are you gonna pay me? We'll give you $30 million. He's like, all right, I'll be there.
I'll be there. Fetch McCain.
Hey, TJ.
Yeah, what's up?
If you should find yourself riding in the wheat fields with the sun in your face, do not be troubled.
Okay.
For you are in Elysium, and you are already dead.
Okay.
Hey, TJ, on my signal, unleash hell.
All right.
How can you like Gladiator, dude?
You guys obviously like Gladiator a lot more than I do.
It's a great fucking movie.
I've seen that movie probably like a dozen times.
I've seen it twice, and I think that's about enough for me.
I saw it in the movie theater.
Right.
And it blew my socks off. It was like the most epic movie I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty visually cool, so I'll give it that.
You're an idiot, TJ.
And it had all those cool ass different types of gladiators from all over. You know what I mean? That was cool.
Life
was this one of them?
A box of chocolates, TJ. Never know what you're gonna get. Babe, hey, maybe we'll get Forrest Gump too. Gump and Co.
Gump and Co.
I like it.
They should have called it the Pump and Gump, dude.
All right. Fuck, TJ.
The Pump and Gump.
Oh, good. Oh, I love that. Dude, and now, hey, Paul, if they wanted to make that movie, you'd be behind it.
Okay, yeah. If it was called Pump and Gump.
The Pump and Gump, dude. So this is to Gump and Co.
Okay.
So the 1994 Oscar-winning drama,
Forrest Jr. Forrest Jr. is now a 21-year-old college student. He's also a butt slave. Pump and Gump.
Oh.
Look, TJ, you need to fucking work in the porn industry. TJ, we need a title for this.
I want to read a treatment for Pump and Gump immediately.
Oh. All right, everyone. All right, Scotty, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's completely understandable, dude. Oh my god. Okay, let's begin. Pump and Gump, dude. Oh, dude, is that where Forrest? That is like short-lived porn career where he makes Deep Throat or something. What is
I don't know.
I don't know. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, dude. All right. Got a show to do, gentlemen. Put Pump and Gump out of your mind.
Mom always said my ass was like a box of chocolates.
Reach on in.
Pump.
Oh, you got a peanut one.
You. Oh man, Tom Hanks.
He can even reprise his line. Something bit me in the buttocks.
All right.
Bubba's older brother, dude. That's who he meets.
Oh man,
that's how it starts. Oh no,
Paul's writing some porn right now.
The whole movie has unfolded in my head now, dude. Pumping Gump. Yeah,
they're coming on.
Well, instead of the feather, it opens with a condom wrapper blowing around in the wind this time. Yeah. Like a big Magnum condom wrapper blowing in the wind.
Of course, already used.
Of course.
All right. The 1994 Oscar-winning drama Forrest Gump was directed by Robert Zemeckis and starred Tom Hanks as the eponymous Alabaman who changed history just about everywhere he went. Following the film's blockbuster critical and commercial success, the movie's brain trust planned to reunite for a sequel. In fact, screenwriter Eric Roth, who nabbed one of the film's 6 Academy Awards for adapting Winston Groom's novel, filed a completed draft on September 10th, 2001.
Ooh, September 10th, 2001, huh? Oops.
Day before 9/11.
Oh, so this is the reason 9/11 happened then that was hidden from us. It was to stop Pump and Gump from happening.
Bin Laden heard about it. He's like, infidels, they shall pay. This is what happened as a result, dude. Sad.
That's just bad timing.
All these truthers talking about 9/11 don't realize it was actually to prevent Forrest Gump too. It had nothing to do with, political grievances or whatever. This is why.
Oh, no, of course. Nothing to do with it.
So actually, this was interesting enough. So 6 months after Tom Hanks took home a Best Actor Oscar for Forrest Gump, author Winston Groom released Gump & Co. Assuredly not to cash in on the huge movie.
Yeah,
but
no way.
Of course that. Can you pull that image up, TJ?
Yeah, sure.
So it's not based on nothing. I will give it that. It's not just like, there actually is a novel it was going to be based on.
The heartwarming sequel to Forrest Gump. Winston Groom.
A sequel to which the novel will be based upon. Met in a way that the original book had no right to be. The follow-up of the book starts out with Forrest telling the reader, "Don't ever let anybody make a movie of your life story." Gump, so it was obviously very self-aware. Gump & Company offers more of the same guy in the right place in the right time shenanigans that the first book and movie did. Forrest invents new coke, crashes the Exxon Valdez, and knocks down the Berlin Wall.
Oops.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Like in the first movie, like most of Forrest's impacts on history were like positive shit, like new coke sucked. Crashing the Exxon Valdez is obviously bad. I guess knocking down the Berlin Wall is a good thing, but okay, whatever.
Reagan said to break down this wall, so I did. I don't know what they were going to do. It was going to start with the little boy having AIDS.
What?
It was going to start with the little boy having AIDS, TJ. What's funny about AIDS? TJ, don't laugh about AIDS.
Why the fuck? Why would it?
He had AIDS because Jenny died of AIDS. So
right.
He had AIDS.
Right.
So he got it from his mom.
I mean, that makes sense, but why would you do that? Why would you? Okay, whatever.
This part's actually something that happened. Not with the kid, obviously, from the books. That's fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And people wouldn't go to class with him in Florida, which is something that did happen. There was a famous case where this kid, I think it happened in the 80s, AIDS epidemic was at its height, and this kid contracted AIDS. I think it was a hemophiliac, and he got it, and they wouldn't the parents were like protesting, that kid can't go to school, and the school district actually banned the kid from going. I can't remember his name. He later died from AIDS tragically, but he was it was years later. And he had to actually go to I think it was court to actually be allowed to go to school. So there actually was some sort of precedent for this, that basis. We had a funny sequence where they were desegregating busing in Florida. At the same time, people were angry about either the busing or their kids having to go to school with a kid who had AIDS. So there was a big conflict. So they were going to basically tackle like desegregation and AIDS and kind of the homophobia.
That sounds like a funny sequence to me, you know?
Oh yeah, sounds great.
Sounds like a laugh riot, man.
And like Gump seemingly quantum leaped his way from one seminal event to another through the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Forrest Gump 2 would have followed him through real life events of the 90s.
Oof.
I had him in the back of OJ's Bronco.
No. Wait. Wait a minute. No. Hold on.
The Bronco.
He was in the back of OJ's Bronco.
Wait, what?
In the Bronco.
That's not a joke.
Bronco. OJ drives tonight. No, it's not a joke.
Okay.
That wasn't a bad joke. No.
He was in OJ's Bronco.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would pick up occasionally, but they didn't see him in the rearview mirror. But he didn't see him in the rearview mirror, and then he'd pop down.
Okay.
He was going to be in the Bronco. I had him as a ballroom dancer who was really good. He could just do the rotational ballroom dancing, and eventually, just as sort of a charity kind of thing, he danced with Princess Diana.
Oh,
well, that's really nice.
Okay.
It's heartwarming, guys.
He what?
Yeah, he gets really good at ballroom dancing, Paul. So it's a charity thing. He gets to dance with Princess Diana. You get that little dance.
Okay, I guess that one is more Forrest Gumpish.
Yeah, so I mean that one, you know,
I don't know why he would be dipped down in fucking OJ's Bronco while he's running from the fucking law, but whatever.
Maybe he saw OJ forgot his sock. So you forgot your sock, and then he jumps in the back or something, and you know, the chase is on. You know, like I don't fucking know.
There's lots of ways you can work over a butthole. You can fist one, fuck one, lick one, suck one. There's dildos. There's butt plugs.
Rim one.
Anal ring toss.
You can tickle one.
There's Benoit balls.
Anal hooks.
Pop and Gump.
The sequel.
It sounds like it sounds based on what I'm reading about the details of this movie. It sounds like it really would have been a Pump and Gump, dude.
It really would have been.
Definitely cash in if there ever was one. The last detail Ross shared helped explain why the film was scrapped after the terrorist attacks of 9/11. And Tom and I and Bob got together on 9/11 to sort of commiserate about how life was in America and how tragic it was. And we looked at each other and said, this movie has no meaning anymore in that sense.
It doesn't make sense, but whatever. I'm glad that they came to that conclusion because this sounds terrible. As much as I would love that Gladiator sequel to have happened, but this one I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. It sounds really bad to me.
And you have to give them credit. Like they realized, I mean, I think this is a nice way of saying like this movie's dumb and has no place in American life at this point. It's going to flop or it's just going to be a disgrace to the original. So fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, the only way I could see it, I think they should just leave it alone, honestly, because it would be really hard. Like Forrest Gump was like a lightning in a bottle type of movie. It's like, you know, it doesn't need a sequel. It was kind of just perfect in a lot of ways, and just leave it alone.
I feel the exact same way. I mean, it's one of the few films I feel actually does have a good ending. It's like, yep, I feel like everything's been wrapped up. I feel like I'm happy with where the characters are at and what I know. And it's like this kid's journey begins, and the feather goes, doo, doo, doo. You know, it has a nice feel good ending, and you're happy, and like the film just works.
And then, I mean, can you imagine like? Imagine if the beginning to Gump and Co. was the end of fucking the first Forrest Gump, where it's like, you know, this is your little boy, Forrest. Wow, I'm a dad now. He's got AIDS. It's like, you know, the end. Like, let it be a happy ending. His kid doesn't need to have AIDS. Just stop.
Yeah, let's just go on. But Winston Groom didn't.
Forrest.
Yeah. This is the one I want to be made.
Yeah, shrimping ain't easy. My subtitle's better.
Damn. Yeah, Pump and Gump.
All right. Kill Bill Volume 3.
Really? Talk about another movie that is just like totally like
she killed Bill again.
Bill's dead.
She kills Bill. Like the movie's called Kill Bill, and at the end of them, she kills Bill.
Yeah, Bill's dead.
How do you do Kill Bill Volume 3?
Yet another one where it's like, okay, we heard just a few minutes ago, Gladiator, main character, dead. Now, obviously, in this one, the bride is the main character, Beatrix Kiddo. She's the main character, so she is not dead. But Bill,
the title character,
is obviously the impetus for this quest and this journey, is in fact dead. So, the movie does live up to his name, Kill Bill. So in 2004, Tarantino told Entertainment Weekly that he was planning on a sequel. Oh, yeah. Initially, I was thinking about this would be my Dollars trilogy. I was going to go do a new one every 10 years, but I need at least 15 years before I do this again. And by the way, Quentin's lied so far because it's been 16 years now. I've got this whole methodology. Sophie Fattel will get all of Bill's money. She'll raise Nikki, who will take on the bride. Nikki deserves her revenge every bit as much as the bride deserves hers. I might even shoot a couple scenes for it now so I can get the actresses where they're at this age.
But it never happened. So they were going to kind of make the bride the villain in the sequel, I guess, where now the little girl who saw her mom get killed at the beginning of the last of Kill Bill Volume 1 will now seek out her revenge.
Yes.
Okay,
that's actually kind of cool, though.
So yeah, he definitely had an angle on it. It wasn't like he was trying to go, oh, let's just fucking retcon things. Like at the 2006 San Diego Comic-Con International, Tarantino stated that after the completion of Grindhouse, he wanted to make 2 anime Kill Bill films, an origin story about Bill and his mentors, and another origin starring the bride. Details emerged around 2007 about 2 possible sequels, Kill Bill Volume 3 and 4. So like Quentin had a lot of plans for this. Like obviously he was on a high from this because this was a cool success. According to the article, the third film involves the revenge of 2 killers whose arms and eyes were hacked by Uma Thurman in the first 2 stories. The article adds that the 4th installment of the popular kung fu action film concerns a cycle of reprisals and daughters who avenge their mother's deaths.
Okay.
So like he was kind of still big for that. Yeah. At the 2009 Morella International Film Festival, Tarantino stated that he intended to make a 3rd Kill Bill film. The same month, he stated Kill Bill 3 would be his 9th film and would be released in 2014.
Whoops.
So he's all over the fucking place on this. And this is him directing Uma Thurman in Kill Bill Volume 1.
Yeah.
With the Battle of the Crazy 88, which is a epic scene if there ever was one in a movie.
Well, I mean, it's a movie that's filled with epic fucking scenes. It's just great. It's kind of, I mean, maybe he'll still do it.
Well, there's still hope for it. We're going to get to that in a minute, though. He said he wanted 10 years to pass after the bride's last conflict to give her and her daughter a period of peace. In 2012, Tarantino stated they would probably not be a 3rd film. Oh, so he's kind of oscillating all over the place. 2009, it's going to happen. 2012, I don't know. 2014, maybe. We're all over the place. However, guys, though, and here's the good news for people that actually might be wanting to see this. However, in late 2019, a 3rd installment in the Uma Thurman-led franchise is definitely in the cards, Tarantino said in July 2019.
In the cards?
In the cards.
In the cards.
So not definite, but definitely in the cards.
It's in the cards.
If any of my movies were going to spring from other movies, it would be a 3rd Kill Bill. But Tarantino sounded even more confident about Kill Bill Volume 3 during another 2019 interview. I just had dinner with Uma Thurman last night, and Tarantino told, I think it was like some radio show. We were at a really cool Japanese restaurant. I do have an idea for what I would do with Kill Bill Volume 3. That was the whole thing, conquering the concept. What has happened to the bride since then? And what did I want to do? Tarantino added, I didn't just want to come up with some cockamamie adventure. The character doesn't deserve that. The bride has fought long and hard. I have an idea how that could be interesting. I still wouldn't do it for a little bit. It would be at least 3 years from now. It is definitely in the cards.
We've heard it all before.
And then he says this. This is pretty much the end of this section. The Kill Bill director has long not spoken about wanting to continue the series with a trilogy-ending 3rd installment. Tarantino once said his plan for Volume 3 would focus on the now adult daughter of Nita Green. As we already talked about that. So it's basically saying the Nikki revenge story.
So, I mean, that's not a bad concept at this point. I mean,
no, I like it. I think it should happen.
You know, and then it kind of fucking talks about, I guess, like the cyclical nature of violence and revenge and shit. So,
No, it's neat, and it's Quentin Tarantino. He's still alive. He's still on his game. He's still working. Like, I mean, if it's gonna happen, it needs to happen now. You know what I mean?
And here's what else needs to happen. They need to dig up the fucking corpse of fucking David Carradine and bring him back.
Why don't they just use that fucking deep fake shit?
Oh yeah, deep fake David Carradine. Deep fake David Carradine. And you can even have him walk out of a closet with a belt around his neck.
As a Force ghost.
Yes! Force ghost David Carradine, deep fake. With a belt around his neck and his dick in his hands. Just like, I'm back,
Yeah, dude. He could be fucking like Nikki has to go and train in the mountains or something, and he could be the one that trains her with his Force ghost shit.
Yeah. She goes back to Bill for one last fucking round of training.
Because Bill's like, look, here's the only way you can beat the bride. And at this point, she's gotten older too, so Nikki has an advantage there. She gets trained by Bill and his full ghost state where he's had time to contemplate the meaning of existence in the universe and become one with everything. He's going to have a fucking well of knowledge to teach her.
And you know what? A lot of people bitch about the lack of female-centric action and adventure and war and battle movies. And like Kill Bill is like a shining example of that.
Oh, definitely.
So why would those people,
Yeah, almost every badass too. Yeah, almost every badass in the movie is a woman. So
well, it's like well done, female centric, action adventure shit. Like, why wouldn't people be all over Quentin to do this? You know what I mean? It's great.
It seems logical.
Do it, Quentin. Do it.
Come on,
Quentin. Do it, Quentin.
You need to do this or Star Trek. Get on it, Quentin.
Yeah, do something, fucker. Combine them both. Make fucking Kill Bill / Star Trek.
No.
Do it.
No.
Do it.
No. Nope.
Your sacred cows, Paul.
Nope.
Your cows. That's why I pulled this one.
Nope.
Let's go back.
Sloth is back in town, Paul.
Shut up. TJ, quiet. Quiet. Don't talking, TJ. Quiet. Let's go back to the 1980s. When children in mortal peril was more than the norm. The Goonies was a massive hit in the summer of 1985. Those darn titular characters, they laugh together, they fat shame together, and they never say die.
No.
Sequel ideas, however, are not so immune, according to actors Sean Astin and Corey Feldman. The two least successful people from that movie. Well, maybe not Sean Astin, but Corey.
Yeah, like he has a career. Corey Feldman doesn't. All he does is go around and fucking be like, "I'm gonna tell you who diddled me, but first, give me $1 million."
Yeah. 10 million, PJ. He needed $10 million. The possibility of a film sequel, and this we're talking about the Goonies Two, of course, has been confirmed and denied many times over the years by the original cast and crew. Donner, and this is Richard Donner, the original director, said he had a story he liked and Spielberg behind him. But in 2004, several of the actors from the original revealed that Warner Brothers, the film's owner, had shown no interest in a sequel. They're like, Warner Brothers kind of like, that's rare for a studio to be like, we're going to pass.
We don't care. We don't give a shit. Fuck that movie.
There is absolutely no way under any... Now, here's the thing. I would not be offended by a sequel. I might be offended by it, but I would not be like devastated by a sequel. What would devastate me more than anything in the world is a Goonies reboot or remake. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
That is what I hope they never fucking do. I really do hope that they never fucking do a sequel to it as well. But as long as they don't reboot it or remake it, then the sequel can just exist in its own shitty universe that I can ignore.
It's coming, Paul. Don't you worry.
Goonies 2 coming to the station, Paul.
I don't know, like you guys don't have the reverence for this movie that I do.
Not at all.
And it was just like, I don't know if you guys have one of these movies, but it was the movie of my childhood. Like it was like it dropped right at the right time. I was right at the right age to be into it, and I watched it. I got had it on videotape, and I just watched it over and over and over and over and over. I was like obsessed with it for the longest time. I still am. I still love this movie. Like if I'm sitting down with somebody and we're bored, and I'm like, what movie do you want to watch? And they ever say The Goonies, Like, I'm never the guy that's going to be like,
Man. I don't know. I'm at the pass on the Goonies.
I think people don't give the Goonies enough credit, man. It's a really fucking great movie. It's so well made, so well written, so like such a great example of like pacing. Pacing is like impeccable in the Goonies. Like it's not so relentless that you get exhausted, but the peaks and valleys in the action are just amazingly high and low. It's great. It's a great fucking movie, and they need to leave it alone.
So Sean Astin told MTV in October 2007 that the Goonies is, quote,
Goonies 2.
The Goonies 2, I'm sorry. Correct. Thank you for correcting me. The writing's on the wall when they're releasing DVD in such numbers. Donner expressed doubt that a sequel ever happened, as many of the actors had not shown any interest in returning for one. Corey Feldman stated in October 25th, 2008 blog post, "No, there's no Goonies 2. I'm sorry, but it's not just going to happen. Of course, now that I've said that, they'll do it." So that's just him wishful thinking there, clearly. However, TJ. On July 2010, the release of the making of a cult classic, The Unauthorized Story of the Goonies DVD, Richard Donner states a sequel to the Goonies is a, quote, definite thing and will evolve as much as the old cast as possible. It will happen, says Donner. We've been trying for a number of years. On April 5th, 2014, Richard Donner revealed the sequels in the works and hopes to bring back the entire cast.
Well, here it is 6 years later, and there still ain't been a fucking slightest rumble of this shit, so.
I'm just hoping they don't.
You know what? You're going to like the end of this episode then. So during a not the end of this episode, end of this section. During a Q&A session at the Fen Expo in Boston, both Austin and Feldman discussed the tumultuous experience with trying to get a possible Goonies 2 off the ground. Feldman led off a little background saying, every year the rumor circulates Goonies 2 is definitely going to happen now. And we'll be like, no, it's not. But director Richard Donner at one point started feeling it himself and went to the press. He used to call us and tell us we're going back to work. We'd get all excited, then it wouldn't happen.
Dude, so, I think I have a fucking basic idea how they could make a Goonies sequel work.
Well, you know what? There'll be a part of this episode at the end where you guys will have a chance to do just that. So
okay.
All right. We'll put up on that.
Fair enough.
So tired of this cycle, the two former child stars then sat down and wrote a 10-page treatment, trying to pen something that they knew would almost please the fans who've been waiting almost 30 years for a follow-up. And in Paul's case, not at all. Apparently, the meeting was between two actors, Richard Donner, and the representatives for producer Steven Spielberg and screenwriter Chris Columbus. So, like, they write this treatment. They're going to have a meeting with this, like, maybe this can actually happen. This is from Feldman. Dick, which is Richard Donner, got really excited. His eyes got really big. Yeah, Dick got really big. And he looked like he was loving it. We got him. He's in. He loves it. And then all of a sudden, halfway through, he just opens his eyes again and goes, too expensive. And we're like, what? And he's like, too expensive. I want to go smaller.
Smaller, Dick, smaller.
No. If you're going to do, the Goonies was not small. The Goonies was huge and bombastic and in your face.
No, it needs to be small. It needs to be a real intimate portrait.
No. Boo.
I don't know if you guys actually heard about this or knew that this happened. Paul, maybe you did. The Goonies cast, actually for a charity, did a reunion just a few days ago.
I did hear about this, yeah. I did. So
pretty cool. They got all the original actors, well, the ones that are still alive, and even old. They got Richard Donner. On the bottom is Steven Spielberg. So in the 2020 reunion event, Spielberg stated, Chris, which is Chris Columbus, Dick, which is Richard Donner, and I, and Lauren Shula Donner, have had a lot of conversations about a sequel. Every couple of years, we come up with the idea, but then it doesn't really hold water. So it's Spielberg right there. Spielberg saying it's not going to happen. He's a Hollywood insider. He's about as inside as you can get. It ain't happening. It just seems like one of those fans that just floats around. Oh, maybe at some point there'll be a Goonies remake, which seems way more likely to me than a sequel.
I think it's for the best, honestly. Just let it be what it is. Now, I got to tell you though, if somebody wanted to make a movie that's akin to the Goonies or inspired by the Goonies, That's a total possibility, and I don't know why nobody has tried to do that. Like, shake off the mythology of the Goonies, make some other antagonist, make some other adventure, but do one of these like childhood adventure stories. You know, where it's like unclear whether we're watching an actual adventure or just a bunch of kids out there whose imaginations are running amok and they're just playing a game, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, as long as the same fucking team is involved in this one, you know what I mean? And the same fucking budget or more is given to it, I'm all for this. Yeah, give me a fucking Fury Road 2.
Mad motherfucking Max, bitch.
But this is some studio fuckery, but we'll get that in a second.
Fucking studio, piece of shit studio. Fuck you, studio.
There's actually 2 sequels in the works for this one, and it could happen, but thus far have not. And that'd be Mad Max Wasteland and Mad Max Furiosa.
Okay.
So despite 2015's Mad Max Fury Road becoming an instant classic and fans clamoring for more, you damn right, the planned sequel, Mad Max The Wasteland, has been trapped in limbo. Following the release of Mad Max's Beyond Thunderdome in 1985, series creator George Miller felt the series was done. He did fucking Beyond Thunderdome. He's kind of like, I think we're done with this. It took him 15 years before he conceived the idea that grew into Fury Road, and as is the way of Hollywood, it took another 15 for the movie to be released.
I just think
But he's 30 years to get Fury Road made.
He's fucking 75 at this point, so if he doesn't get it done soon, he's probably gonna be too old to do it. Yeah,
and I really don't trust the idea, at least the cinematic universe, in anybody else's hands either.
Yeah, I mean no one else should. If he dies and anyone else makes a Mad Max movie, I'm just fucking plain and simple not interested.
I got a soft spot for, the original Mad Maxes, but Fury Road is on a whole different level.
He took the whole thing to an. I mean, like, it's almost like, why even bother watching The Road Warrior? I mean, it's got nostalgia value and shit, but like everything that's in the original trilogy was just done like 1,000 times better in fucking Fury Road. He took advantage of all the new technology to really bring things to an insane new level that is just like, I don't know, it's beyond fucking comprehension almost.
When we had to see that in theaters, like me, TJ, I forgot, there's someone else, some other people went with us, but me and TJ went. I know that for certain. And like, we're like, okay, Mad Max. We kind of expected like the other Mad Max movies, and we were just blown the fuck away. I think anyone who saw this movie just like, I never saw this coming. I could not believe it when I saw it. It's one of the best fucking.
This is one of those movies, by the way, that if anyone fucking tries to criticize it to me, I'm just like, you're an idiot. I write off everything that you have to say about any subject. You're a fucking moron. Piss off. I don't want you.
I entirely agree with you on that, because like, you can't argue like the movie's too intellectual or too stuffy or too. It's like, no, it's not. It's none of those things. It's just brilliant visual storytelling. So before the script was even written, Miller had Fury Road extensively storyboarded. Can you show that next one? I mean, this is crazy, the details they went into.
Yeah, they basically wrote like a whole fucking comic, here. Like, this is I've seen movie storyboards that are not nearly like, they probably didn't storyboard everything with this level of detail, did they? Because I mean, usually, really? Wow, that's crazy.
They did. They storyboarded this entire movie, and there is a reason why. He wanted the narrative. So this is about George Miller. Wanted the narrative to function almost without dialogue.
He succeeded. Yeah,
and he definitely. Well, you see why. I mean, you put 30 years into a movie. That's what you get. You get a brilliant fucking movie. The film was gearing up to shoot in 2003 with Mel Gibson returning, but this production was canceled following the outbreak of the war in Iraq and security concerns over its planned Nambian shoot. Okay. So they're actually going to make this movie in 2003. That never happened because, of course, like they said, the security concerns and just.
I'm kind of glad it got delayed, because I feel like the technology to make that movie wasn't really there in 2003.
Let's be honest. Maybe it would have been good. Maybe it wouldn't have been, but I don't think it would have had the impact of Fury Road. I have a hard time believing that personally. Undaunted, Miller spent the next intervening years refining the script and working on more Mad Max projects, including an unproduced Furiosa prequel anime. That's one thing I noticed. Like, Quentin Tarantino wanted to make an anime, Miller wanted to make an anime. These guys have a bonus for anime.
But they never seem to actually happen, though. So
yeah, and then, because they probably looked at the cost and they're hugely expensive to produce. It may have been a long ride, but Mad Max Fury Road was met with universal acclaim when it arrived, and is regarded by many as far and away the best of the franchise. I agree. The film was also a solid hit for a rated R movie, which is very rare at the box office, and surprisingly, the Oscars But despite this, studio politics have slammed the brakes on the series for now. And let's examine the reasons why.
Because fucking Hollywood sucks fucking dick.
Yeah, Hollywood is a bunch of cheap motherfuckers. This movie is a fucking massive critical hit. Is a commercial success in every sense of the word. People fucking love this movie. If anyone's seen this movie, they remember this movie. It's not like Fury Road. Oh,
what was that one again? I don't.
Not one of those movies where it's like you forget it, you know. So George Miller had a long time to develop Mad Max Fury Road, as we talked about, and during this time, he completed 2 more scripts, including Mad Max: The Wasteland. One of these scripts said to be a prequel that features the Vauvillian from Fury Road, suggesting it could be the Furiosa anime script. Furiosa became an iconic figure of her own, and both Miller and Charlize Theron have said they'd love to make a solo movie with the character, which I would love.
She was
too.
pretty much the star of this one. Like,
yeah,
Max was really more of a side character.
And it actually really worked for him. Miller has also stated Mad Max Wasteland wouldn't be a direct sequel to the previous movie, so Furiosa wouldn't be involved. He also said the movie will be a smaller scale with a lower budget and fewer stunts. Following the release of Fury Road, the filmmaker understandably expressed a desire to take a break from the series, recharge his batteries, but has repeatedly said he wants to return for the Wasteland.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to. I mean, it needs to be big.
Yeah,
it's going to be a worthy successor,
right? I mean, I trust the instincts of Miller and shit, but my personal thing is I want a movie that's like as big and bombastic as Fury Road, but preferably more so if that's even possible. But yeah, it should at least match it. So I don't know about this stripped down shit.
But you know what? I will say this: compare the Chronicles of Riddick to just Riddick,
right?
And I mean, look, not saying that either one of those movies are masterpieces by any stretch of the imagination, but I think Riddick still worked. So I mean, is it possible? Sure. Will it top it? You never know. It depends on what they do with the story. It depends, but I would say Fury Road is probably not going to be topped when you look at it. I mean, look, 30 years of development. Yeah, that's something that's that means George Miller had a lot of time to come back to the project, storyboard it, think about it, come up with his ideas, cut bad ideas. I mean, he had so much time. I mean, to work on that. It's kind of hard to imagine, with 5 years. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say the guy can't do it, but
I think if anyone, he needs to realize he's 75. There's not going to be much time left for him to fucking make this happen. He needs to do it.
Yeah, make sure you're in isolation, by the way, George Miller.
He needs to do it.
COVID-19.
He just needs to do it right now. Right this minute.
Here's the reason why this movie has not been made. So unfortunately, there's been a lawsuit. And this is like the fucking death rattle of a lot of fucking films and music projects and shit like that. Like, hey, when's the album coming out? It depends. There's a lawsuit going on. And when you have two sides with a lot of money, they can dig their heels in for quite a while. Sadly, this is where studio politics come into play. It turns out Miller's production company and Warner Brothers fell into dispute over an unpaid bonus following the release of Mad Max Fury Road. Miller's company was set to receive a $9 million bonus if the production budget came in under $157 million. Miller says that it did, but the studio insisted on expensive reshoots that added back sequences that were previously cut due to cost and inflated the budget to over $185 million. The director says the studio is solely responsible for these additional costs and the bonus should have been paid.
Just another example of why capitalism has doomed everything that's good and cool in the world to a prison of fucking lawyers and fucking counter arguments and cross-referencing of fucking contracts and all kinds of just nonsensical, legal, money-based mumbo-jumbo that just fetters up everything that's fucking creative and awesome and cool in a giant quagmire of arguments about which ape gets more bananas in his fist. You know what I mean? Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Yeah. Imagine if, the drive to do a movie like Fury Road was that you could continue to make movies on that scale and that it would get you the recognition for other people that were as passionate as you about filmmaking to come and help you make the sequel or help you make another property, and you make that and you're not really fucking constrained by this stupid fucking, we didn't get our bonus. We don't want to pay you bonus. well, I guess this fucking awesome shit is over forever then. Yep.
Over $9 million.
Just like,
I mean, but that's just how it goes with these sides. I mean, and it's all people. It's Miller and his team probably wants like, look, we want this $9 million. And the studio's like, you ain't getting shit. We're not giving you $9 million. You want us to give you $9 million bucks? And look, the studio's got that money. They could have given him the $9 million, but
oh my God, they wiped their asses with $9 million at Warner Brothers. Come on.
They're probably gonna spend $9 million on the lawsuit. If you battle for fucking 5 years, you know how much lawyers fucking charge you and how many lawyers Warner Brother has? Okay. The studio counters their contract was for a 100-minute PG-13 film, while Miller turned in a 120-minute R-rated one, and the movie exceeded its budget because of unapproved costs and delays on the side of Miller's company. Both sides have locked horns over the issue, and neither one is backing down. Even if an amicable settlement is reached, it's easy to imagine a scenario where Miller decides not to return to work with the studio again. So even if they resolve this, which eventually they will, they're saying Miller might not. But there's still hope. There's still hope. Will Mad Max 5 happen? And I hope it does, but we never know. In an interview with IndieWire, George Miller confirmed that his immediate priority was 3,000 Years of Longing, who cares, but also reaffirmed that he was confident Mad Max Free Road sequels were on the way, and suggested the legal wrangling with Warner Brothers could be drawing to an imminent close. The visionary filmmaker stated, and by the way, I would normally cut out visionary filmmaker, but in this case, I left it. There are two stories, both involving Mad Max and also a Furiosa story. We're still solving. We still have got to play out the Warners thing. It seems pretty clear that it's going to happen. It all started because of the chaos at Warner Brothers, and not Kevin Tushihara. It was all pre that. And by the way, I looked that up. Apparently, the guy that was running Warner Brothers was Me Too'd. Let's see. It was pre all that. It's hard to get anyone's attention, so he went to litigation. The chaos has stabilized. It's becoming extremely positive as the dust seems to have settled after the AT&T merger. So he's saying like Warner Brothers was kind of like in a fucking total state of chaos. I guess they were bought by AT&T. So now maybe it's more likely to happen. The studio seems to have kind of stabilized, but obviously with what's going on in the world right now, if there's any imminent plans for that, there's obviously been delayed, as many movie shoots and TV shoots have been put on hold due to COVID-19. So
shitty.
Yeah, it seems like it's finally, the dust is finally starting
Cursed.
to yeah. And it's like, nope, that was a pandemic.
Cursed movie.
So now at this point in the episode, I wanted to end it with this way. I wanted to end up by giving you guys a chance to pitch the sequel to the audience. Now, I don't want you to be limited to this list or anyone, but feel free to use it if so inclined. So I know you guys used to do a show called Pitch Wars back in the day. So if it was ever a sequel that you'd want to happen, or a sequel maybe you thought was wrong and you would have done it better, I want to give you guys both a chance to give the audience a sequel that you would like to see that never happened.
I've got all these movies pretty fresh in my mind right now, and I had a couple ideas about them. I don't know, TJ, is there one you want to go head to head on?
We can go head to head on one of these, or I will just let me just quickly say though that it's not on this list, and I don't really know I want to do a sequel, but if I had the ability to try out the director's chair, like if somehow like some Hollywood studios like, TJ, we think you got it, come do this movie for us, any property you want, we'll fucking procure the rights or whatever, I'd be like, okay, I want to do the Blob, because I want to do the Blob right, because I feel like I like both versions. I like the 50s version, I like the 80s version, but they've never done the Blob movie that I've wanted to see made. So I would want to do a Blob, and I don't really think you need it. As far as the imagination of it goes, a lot of that's going to be in like how you do specific sequences and stuff. But the main gist of why I want to do the Blob movie is because I want the Blob to consume the entirety of the Earth, and I want the closing shot to be the Blob shooting out spores of itself in every direction, and you kind of see that it's part of its life cycle, that it consumes planets and then spreads out into the fucking, it shoots out its little spores, its little mini blobs to go through the cosmos and consume other planets, and that's just how it fucking works. But I want the I want there to be a scene where they're the only person left is some astronauts in the space station, and then a big tendril of the blob just reaches out from the blob Earth and grabs the space station and fucking sucks that in as well. So yeah, I just want to do a fucking proper version of the blob, using all the modern CG technology and stuff, and end it right. None of this like, oh, he's weak to ice. Fuck that. Ice doesn't fucking phase him. He's the blob, or it's the blob. You shouldn't even gender it, really. So yeah, that's the main thing I think I'd like to do. But as far as these movies go, we could talk about any of them. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, how about this though, TJ? What happens when the blob meets another blob? Oh shit, dude! The Battle of the Titans. That needs to be your sequel to that.
Maybe
blob, a different colored blob, like the pink blob meets a blue blob. You know what I mean?
Pink blob versus other blob. Maybe I'll let someone else do that one. I think, but whatever.
Blob Wars.
That's a direct-to-video sequel.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, any of these movies, look, when it comes to a Mad Max movie, like the plot is not that important.
It is. It is though.
It's not that much.
It provides the bones and the structure for the action, and it is important.
It's important. I mean, it's important to have a plot, but it really doesn't matter. Like even the most basic setup works. I mean,
but there was still a story. No. See, here's the thing.
Okay.
He worked very hard to make the narrative work without dialogue.
Right.
But there was a story. It unfolded, and it has to be shown in the action. So yeah, story and dialogue are not the same thing. The story really matters if you're going to do a fucking really good Mad Max.
I mean,
sequel,
for the most part, it's just a protracted car chase scene. I mean, the plot is pretty fucking paper thin in Mad Max. There's some interesting themes at work, but I mean, the basic plot is really fucking quite, it's rudimentary.
It's a simple plot. It's a simple plot, but doesn't mean it's not complex.
There's all kinds of complexity to it. So it posits a far future society and introduces you to a number of characters at various levels in that hierarchy. How one of them keeps, a bunch of attractive women as breeding stock.
Right.
How he exacts his control over, the populace with
controlling the resource of
access to water.
Stuff,
and gasoline.
Yeah.
And how there's all these other societies kind of out there warring with one another over the dwindling reserves.
Well, no, I mean, hey, hold on. I'm not fucking insult. I'm not trying to fucking say the world building isn't good.
Well, we're talking
about
of it.
That's not plot though. That's world building. That's totally separate thing. Characters and all that shit. All that shit is richly developed. What I'm saying is the basic plot is really fucking simple. So I think, as long as, I think you got to keep it simple for a Mad Max movie. It should just be fucking, like some kind of hero, villain wants this resource or whatever.
I think it matters though that there's enough establishment on the villain to make it a good foe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it has to be well written enough. The story has to be developed to the point where we know what we're dealing with.
Oh, sure. And one of the things I liked about the villain in, Fury Road. What was his name again?
Papa Joe or something
like that.
Immortan Joe.
Yeah, Immortan. Yeah. The thing I really liked about him is how much of a fraud he was.
Oh, it was great.
I love how he fucking cut this really imposing figure, but then you see that really he's this very like sickly kind of like disgusting creature underneath all of his battle armor and shit. And kind of on the weaker side too. So I thought that was pretty cool. And there was like a lot of fucking interesting things about the premise of that movie. I don't know if you guys ever saw, there was a video someone made where they put a George Carlin stand-up routine over some of the scenes from Mad Max Fury Road to kind of show that it was a movie about I guess toxic masculinity is really the fucking term to use. But yeah, let me see if I can find that.
Dude, I've got some ideas for a Mad Max fucking sequel, dude.
All right, let's hear them.
I got some specific fucking ideas. Number one, I like Furiosa. I like her as a character, so I think she goes on. She takes over Immortan Joe's weird little conclave. She, equalizes access to water and makes a nice little place. Yeah. It's not, it's still fucking the wasteland, but You know, and people are, you know, they rally around her because she's a good leader.
And it's like an oasis in the wasteland. Yeah,
right.
That sounds cool.
And then, you know, some fucking whispered about at night and in the various corners of the known fucking wasteland, evil descends, you know, out of the fucking dark. And people are, you know, there's all these legends about this group of scavengers that just finds these little pockets where society's trying to fucking reinsert itself and become functional again, and they just loot it, you know. And she's got to fucking rouse these people who have become kind of complacent because they live in a more idyllic kind of fucking world now,
right?
To fight against this gigantic swarm of fucking, and the idea that I had about this enemy that kind of sets them apart, so it's not just more, you know, crazy car dudes. They've like integrated themselves with their cars, so they don't even exist outside of their vehicles. It's like flesh and metal have knitted into different kind of, you know what I mean. You remember that dude in what's that fucking Twisted Metal?
Oh,
remember that fucking video game that there was that dude that he was like just strapped into this thing and he was part of it. It was like
what was that
wheels.
Dude's name?
Yeah, shit like that. Where it's like in various different combinations of various different kinds of people with these crazy fucking dune buggies and giant trucks and helicopters and, you know what I mean? Motorcycles. That shit would be fucking amazing.
They're almost kind of like a great filter kind of presence. Like anytime civilization kind of starts establishing itself again, they come and destroy it.
Yep.
I definitely like the character concepts. That could lead some fucking cool ass character designs. That's something you really saw in Mad Max Fury Road. Like everyone loves the blind dude fucking playing guitar and shit as they fucking chase the people. That's like shooting flames. Like that's like just for like a little side character in the movie that they put that much detail into it. It's like that's why the universe works so well, because you didn't have to be fucking. See, what could have killed the movie like Mad Max Fury Road is over explanation. This is this character who does this. This is this character does that. You didn't have the film never needed that bullshit. There was moments like that, of course, but it's like it was only when it was actually necessary.
Did you guys want to check this out?
Yeah,
let's check it out.
There are five
any sequel ideas for you.
What's that?
I haven't heard any sequel ideas from you. I've heard about remakes and other shit.
I'll get to it.
There are 5 deadly male subcultures.
I think this is pretty cool.
They all overlap. The car and machinery culture, the police and military culture, the outdoors and gun culture, the sports and competition culture, and the let's go get some pussy and beat the shit out of queers culture. As I say, they all overlap. This male universe is, of course, detectable by analyzing its combustible chemical formula. Gasoline, gunpowder, alcohol, and adrenaline, a chemistry rendered even more lethal by that ever-present, ever-delightful accelerant, testosterone, the most lethal substance on Earth. And as it happens, all these male subcultures share a particular set of features. They also share a strong fear and dislike of women, coupled with an oddly ironic, complete childlike trust in male authority. All the problems in the world, repeat, all the problems in the world can be traced to what fathers do to their sons. So little boys learn to hide their feelings, and society likes that, because that way, when they get to be 18, they'll be able to go overseas and kill strangers without feeling anything. And of course, that bargain includes a certain reluctant willingness to have their balls shot off.
If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die historic on the Fury Road.
So why are men like this? I think the overriding problem for men is that in life's main event, reproduction, they're left out. Women do all the work. And so, excluded as they are from reproduction, men must find other ways to feel useful and worthwhile. As a result, they measure themselves by the size of their guns, the size of their cars, the size of their dicks, and the size of their wallets. All contests that no man can win consistently. And let me tell you why all this happened. Because women are the source of all human life. The first human being came from the belly of a female, and all human fetuses begin as females. The brain itself is basically female until hormones act on it to make it structurally male. So in reality, all men are modified females. Where do you think those nipples came from, guys? That would explain the hostility. Women got the good job, men got the shitty one. Females create life, males end it. War, crime, violence are primarily male franchises. It's nature's supreme joke. Deep in the womb, men start out as the good thing and wind up as the crappy thing. Not all men, just enough to fuck things up.
I think it works really well with the subtext of that movie.
It actually does. Yeah. Definitely the speech made by George Carlin definitely rings true to that universe. Probably more so than even this one.
I think it's a kind of an oversimplification, but
sure, yeah, of course. I mean, there's not
there's some shitty females out there. They are not the good thing. Okay, let's
oh well, yeah.
Compared to us, they kind of are, but whatever.
I watch a lot of like these bait car things, and and this might seem apropos of nothing, but a lot of times the people that were stealing these cars and breaking and doing these crime things were couples.
That's cool.
And
I'm glad they're out there doing something together, you know?
How it worked generally is the woman would basically control the man, and she'd basically tell him what to do, and he would go and do it for her.
That's true.
That's
what men are for, though. We're there to be disposable, you know? I mean, like, if you look at, I think it was broke down for me probably the best in Howard Blum's book, The Lucifer Principle, where he's just like, look, you know, if you have 99 men and one woman, that's going to be really hard to get society going again.
No, it's done.
If you have 99 women and one man, that's easy. You know, as long as he's not shooting blanks, you know, you can easily fucking have a society going again in fucking no time comparatively to the other scenario. Because, you know, so men are fucking really the more disposable sex, which is why we fucking have fought all the wars and shit. You know, and all that. And why it's like, you know, if there's a war or some kind of conflict, it's the men who go off to die because you only need a few men to repopulate. You need a lot of women. So anyway, but let's enough of that bullshit. Let's talk about sequels to these movies.
Yeah. What's your pitch?
So Paul pitched, I mean, look, as far as a Mad Max sequel goes, I don't really, like I said, I don't think the plot matters. So I don't really think there's much of a point in pitching a sequel to that. You know, just whatever. You just need to pick typical action movie setup. It just has to be done. And I mean, like only George Miller should do that anyway. As far as a Forrest Gump sequel goes, there shouldn't be one. But if there is, then I'm going with Pump and Gump, man. Go X-rated with that shit.
What's the plot of it? What is Pump and Gump, TJ?
Forrest Gump 2, Pump and Gump. You know, Forrest, you know, he raises up his kid and stuff, and, you know, he sends him off to college, all that shit, you know, and he's like, okay, you know, he's kind of like done his thing in life, and he looks back and he reflects on things. But, you know, there's this urge that he finds, you know, deep inside, you know, that,
how old is Forrest at this point? He sounds pretty old. Is he 50, 60?
Yeah, you know, he's like 50 or whatever. But, you know, okay. There's some things about himself because he's kind of like, you know, he's retarded, right? Or whatever the term is that's acceptable these days. Mentally handicapped, challenged, whatever the fuck it is. Differently abled. I don't know what the proper fucking PC shit is. But anyway, he's retarded. And, you know, so he didn't really, you know, he wasn't capable of like this deep introspection, you know, but, you know, over time and, you know, it starts to click to him that, you know, he's got a little bit of bi-curiosity going. And, you know, through a wacky series of Forrest Gump-esque events, he, you know, begins to explore that lifestyle. And, you know, before he knows it, he becomes the fucking, he gets into the gay porn industry as a fluffer. He starts like, you know, jerking the dudes off before their big scene and stuff. And, you know, one thing leads to another. And it's just a descent of the beloved character Forrest Gump into deeper and deeper levels of debauchery.
Yeah. Like one night, the intended recipient of like a big butt gang bang falls through.
Yeah. And he's got to fucking sub in and, yeah. You know, and, you know, you know, he stars in, you know, Double Fister 3, you know, whatever. And it's good. And, you know, I mean, I think the movie's climax is basically, you know, there's a group of like, you know, 6 or 7 different dudes that all shove their fist up Forrest's ass at the same time. And, you know, they pull it out and then his ass is like this big. and then with the camera kind of pans into the ass slowly and dramatically, na, 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 and then in the ass the credits start to roll. So yeah, I think that's probably a masterpiece. Green light that. Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
So what was the other movies we watched? Goonies 2. Okay, so Goonies 2. It starts right when the original Goonies leaves off, where they're all on the beach and stuff. And what happens is, right at that moment, a giant nuclear missile just launches into all the main characters, and they're all blown up and they die. And then, yeah, everyone dies right after the events. No, right after the events of the original Goonies, they're all just dead, instantly dead.
Okay.
And then basically we just go off and do like a better plot to a better movie. And then what was the other one? What are the other ones? Gladiator 2. Let's do the cave script. Like, don't even change a word. Just do it. Just do what he wanted. And what else? Mad Max. I already talked about that. There was one more, right?
Kill Bill.
Oh, Kill Bill Volume 3. Yeah, I mean, the Nikki plot's pretty good and all, but I think that you should just bring Bill back as a Force ghost. I think that and make
Maybe he will anyway.
Yeah, but I think he should be the villain again. I think it should really be Kill Bill Volume 3. Like, Bill's back from the dead. It's too bad David Carradine's not alive to reprise the role, but we'll deep fake him.
Dude, Bill's corpse is injected with the fucking T virus. He's reanimated, but he's like one of the rare people that has control over it. And now he's a super fucking mutant badass.
Maybe he didn't really die. Maybe she only did. Maybe she didn't hit one nerve just right.
Right, and it only collapsed. Yeah, he only passed out. Yeah.
The problem with that is David Carradine is fucking dead.
Deep fake him.
Deep fake.
He's back.
Are you guys are fine with deep fakes? I mean, if we're doing sequels and shit, I mean, so like, I know some people from the Goonies are dead. If they did that, would they have to be deep faked into the movie?
Yeah, I mean, like it's the same thing they did with in the Terminator movie, right? I heard that they brought back like a CG John Connor just to have him shot by a Terminator. So we're gonna do that with all the Goonies. That's all those kids die. In fact, not a nuke, because that's too easy of a death. I think what you need is for like that fucking what's the bitch, the Martellis or whatever. You need that you know, that bitch with the fucking throat cancer to just escape custody and just gun them all down with a Tommy gun, right? And you just see their brains fly out of their fucking heads and shit, and then she takes the treasure and runs off. So that'd be a happy ending for her, and I think she's the only character that probably deserves one. So yeah, that's a masterpiece right there. And then just maybe go follow her adventure. She goes across the country, show how she spends the treasure money and all that, and show her just going to luxury hotels and enjoying herself, and maybe she kills a few more people here and there. She gets herself some fucking some like muscular 20-year-olds to eat out her fucking nasty pussy because she's got all this dough and shit, and just call it like Martelli,
What?
Yeah.
Damn, TJ. I want some of what you're smoking, man.
Dude, if you're gonna do a Goonies sequel, it's got to be like a modern, like, update. You know what I mean? So you got to get as many of the old actors as you can, stick them in the Goondocks, have them living in the same areas. Most of them are grandfathers now. You know what I mean? And you have a new crop of kids. And there's this mythology around what their grandpas and grandmas did. Oh yeah, they found One-Eyed Willie. Oh yeah, they found all this treasure. Blah 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 blah. But they don't believe it anymore.
Yeah.
The kids are just like, that's just bullshit. Grandpa's a fucking idiot. And they're, what about Uncle Sloth? You know what I mean? You put Sloth in it again, and they could be like, Uncle Sloth just has a facial deformity, and he's slow. He's not some great fucking monster that helped them sail a pirate ship over the evil Martelli. And you put the Martellis in it, you make a Martelli bully. You see what I mean? Like a descendant of the original Martellis. Maybe his grandma was Ma Martelli. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And he's the bully at school.
Yeah.
And then, maybe you just tell the story again. They find the old map again with the doubloon. And they decide they're going to fucking go pursue, like, we're going to find out if this was real, because, yeah, we know that they say that the pirate ship sailed away, but that whole cavern was filled with treasure, and, like, let's prove it once and for all. Let's show them that they're fucking full of shit. And so they go, cynically kind of looking for One-Eyed Willie, and they find him again. You know what I mean? Pursued by the Martelli bully and his gang of toadies.
Yeah, mine's better. Gun them all down, kill all the original characters in a bloody, horrific way.
You can't nuke the Goonies.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
You know what, Paul? Bring on the nukes, bitch.
They're not going to make a sequel to this, the Goonies, but they're going to make a remake, but they're going to do it all instead of boys. It's going to be like basically like girls. They're going to do a gender swap movie. That's me, the Goonies.
You know what? Gender swap is so fucking 2016.
You know what, dude? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with there being a heavier concentration of girl Goonies if they're going to do a reboot or some shit.
We need an all black midget Goonies.
I would watch it.
Yeah.
All black midget.
Yeah, an all black midget Goonies. Come on.
Why not?
Let's be progressive about this, for fuck's sake.
Why not?
Yeah.
But, hey, I don't think you're going far enough, dude. Can it be? I want them to be trans black midgets.
Yeah, trans black midgets.
Yeah, look, TJ, if you said we're gonna go balls to the wall, TJ, we need to fucking go balls to the wall, dude.
Balls to the wall. Yeah, absolutely. I'm in 100% agreement.
Most PC movie possible. And if anyone in Hollywood tries to attack us, we go, do you have a problem with gay, trans, black midgets?
I want it to be so PC that it inverts and it becomes offensive. You know what I mean?
I think if you did a movie like that and you made everybody in it a trans black midget, I think you will have accomplished that goal.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's great. It's beautiful.
Look, we're casting the people based on the actors we want. If they're offended, then they're just homophobic, transphobic, racist.
What about movies that you want to see a sequel to that they've never made a sequel to, or maybe even talked about it? Like, is there a movie out there that you would just like, oh man, I wish they make a sequel to that?
I'm not too big on sequels, but like I'm trying to rack my brain if there's any movie that just like, yeah, they should have made a fucking sequel to that. Because most times, like, I really love a movie. It's like let's say if you really like the movie 7 or something. Oh, I really like that movie. That's a good movie. It's like, what do you want?
8. Yeah.
I mean, like,
no, they should do 10 and make it based on the 10 Commandments and shit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 7
Samurai. Let's do 8 Samurai now. You know what I mean? Like, what? Your Braveheart. William Wallace is dead in the end. The fucking story is that story.
Yeah, Braveheart too, dude. Hell yeah.
Brave fart.
Yeah, brave fart. It's funny. Let's see. What movies?
I mean, we've seen that. Like, we all growing up as kids, what did everyone want so bad? Oh man, I want the Star Wars prequels, I want Star Wars sequels. Now we've got them and they suck, dude.
Yeah. Oops.
That part of my brain just like shut off. The more I see what they do with this shit, I'm like, no, in fact, never mind.
How about that? How about Alien Covenant? That was pretty good.
Fuck. Oh, dude.
Ugh.
They're gonna make a sequel to that too, right?
I hope not. Wasn't it a flop? It flopped, right?
No, it wasn't. It was not a commercial flop.
Oh man, really?
Dude, I cannot fucking tell you how excited I was. That's one of those movies where it's like, oh man, this is actually going to be a good sequel. I think that might have killed sequels for me. I'm like, so we're going to go to the fucking Prometheus planet. Yes. What the fuck, dude? This is crazy. All right. The planet was wiped out by lamer versions of the aliens. Fucking done.
Yep. Check me out.
Yeah, like I'm done, dude. Oh, hey, let me get on the ship with you. It's David. Oh my god! It's like it was just stupid shit like that. Where it
just sucked.
It sucked so bad. The movie was awful.
We got attacked seriously. That was like an It day, and like 3 of us were like, "It sucks." Got attacked for that. The fucking part 2 fucking.
Wait, people tried to defend Alien Covenant.
Oh, there's people. No, people love Alien Covenant, dude. No, but just like there's defenders of it. But you know what? It 2 pretty much fucking vindicated all of us. And I feel that Alien Covenant, if they make a sequel to that, I don't think it's going to.
I feel we were vindicated when we fucking attacked the first It, because that sucked. In fact, It 2 was maybe a little better than the fucking first one.
At some points, maybe, but I don't know. It 2, I think overall was a worse movie than the first one.
I feel like I enjoyed it slightly more.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't enjoy either one because they were both fucking awful, but.
This garbage. Well, that's fucking 5 sequels to Never Happened and some other bullshit about us speculating about things we would want to happen or remakes or whatever. It just went off the fucking rails, but doesn't really matter now.
Casablanca 2, dude. Casablanca 2.
Casablanca?
Yeah.
There can't be a sequel to this series. Yeah, because guess what? That was actually in talks to happen.
Schindler's List 2, guys.
Okay, I didn't hear about that one.
Schindler's List 2, the shopping list.
Yeah. He's like, God damn it, I told you to get mayonnaise. You know? It's fucking great. Oh, you guys don't understand movies. You know what I'm saying? You guys just don't get it. How about To Kill a Mockingbird 2? That could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
To Kill a Mockingbird 2, Mockingbirder. You know?
Boo Radley comes back from the dead.
Yeah, dude. Oh, how about It's a Wonderful Life 2? We could do that. No?
Yeah.
I'm not hearing any fucking assent from you guys.
I mean, I guess you could.
Okay. They could do It too.
Paul, you could make your version It's a Terrible Life. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It could be about a miserable son of a bitch that looks at what the world would have been like without him, and then he fucking, you know,
he realizes it would have been better off.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah, I guess I should kill myself. But maybe he's so miserable and curmudgeonly that he decides not to kill himself because he's like, wow, at least I'm making shit worse for others.
You know what, guys? Nice try, but I'm pretty sure Ricky Gervais will probably make that before you guys ever get a chance.
Damn it, son of a bitch.
You know he's going to. It's like, that basically sums up like Ricky Gervais as a person. Yeah, Paul and Ricky Gervais, they pretty much have that same thing going on.
How about Clockwork Orange 2? He's still alive, right? Like,
yeah. What's his name?
Andy McDowell or whatever the fuck. Yeah, bring his ass back. See what the later years are like for what's his face
in the retirement home and shit.
Yeah,
dude, it could be like almost like a Bubba Hotep thing. It's like the aging gangsters like fight for control of the fucking old folks home.
Yeah, I like old people. It's all fun. Anyway, I guess that's it. Sequels are good. What are you gonna do?
Some sequels are good. Aliens, Terminator 2, both James Cameron movies.
I mean, Fury Road's a sequel to, it's the fourth entry in a fucking franchise, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, there's trilogies with plenty of good sequels to them. I mean, the original Star Wars trilogy, 2 sequels there. I mean, the most memorable one is Return of the Jedi, in a lot of people's opinions, so there you go.
You guys know that another fucking Matrix movie is happening, by the way?
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
Gross. Anyway, I guess that's good, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time for more Deep Fat Fried.
Deep Fat Fried. Deep Fat Fried. Deep Fat Fried.